When I first started my fitness journey, it came from a very simple place. I was overweight and I didn't really want to be the fat kid anymore. I dieted really hard, no gym, just starvation essentially, and I got down to the very unhealthy weight of 45 kilos. And when I got there, I wasn't very happy. I was still fat. I was skinny. I had really fucking noodly arms, but I was fat. I had fat around my chest, I had fat around my lower back, and I was still like really weak. Like a gust of wind would blow me away, and that didn't really make me feel good. And it was at this moment that I realised I couldn't just get away with dieting. I had to lift some weights. So with some 5 kilo dumbbells and a couple of push-ups in my room, I get started. I made some progress, but I realised that wasn't just enough. I would need to go to the gym. And so I did. Not with a plan, not with any education on how to lift, but with just the mindset and the heart and the drive to do it. And do you know what? Those times were some of my best times in the gym. I went 7 days a week, 3 hours a day, nowhere near optimal. I was basically in a diet that for most people would be a severe deficit. Now, because I was starting off in such a low body weight, this didn't really matter because, I think I was maybe eating like 1,400 calories a day, but I think probably before that I must have been eating about 1,000. So in this time period, I started to notice a little bit of growth. I'll maybe put a wee picture on the screen of me like 2 months into the gym from, 45 kilos to, and never having lifted a weight, to, lifting weights and eating a little bit more, probably still nowhere near enough, but it was a start and it was really a step in the right direction. And other people started to notice. I started to get compliments. My friends, I started to kind of outpace them at the gym, not because of any kind of merit to my programming or merit to my nutrition. I essentially just wanted it more. I pushed myself harder. I stayed a little bit longer, and those kind of compounded and cemented. But progress slowed, and I didn't really know what to do because I was just going off of motivation and killing myself in the gym, and that was it. I had no program. I made it up as I went along. Every day I just trained what I felt like, and I kind of didn't get into the kind of caloric surplus. So because of this, I just kind of stayed exactly where I was. And this was the first time that I started to kind of slump into the valley of despair. Now, don't get me wrong, I was actually happy with the results that I had gotten. Since childhood, the kind of main physique that I had looked up to was actually Tobey Maguire's in Spider-Man. And I think I really did get there. But the problem with this was I never reframed any of my goals. I had a goal in mind, I achieved it, I got to that first kind of summit of the mountain, and that was it. And because I didn't have a new goal, I just kind of ebbed and flowed. I maybe got a little tiny bit better, but the improvements were actually really small. And this is because I had nothing to strive towards. And this is one of the biggest mistakes you can make, not finding a secondary goal. And this was the case until 2020 rolled around, where I think 3 very significant things happened. 1, a couple of my friends asked me to help them lose a little bit of their lockdown weight. 2, I decided I enjoyed this process enough to get educated as a personal trainer. And 3, and probably most importantly, I subscribed to a lesser known channel on YouTube, Alex Bromley. And not only that, I bought his book, Base Strength. With this, I got the passion for helping other people. 2, the legal ability to work in a gym in the UK. And 3, the absolute holy grail when it comes to understanding how training and programming really works. If anything to take away from this, if you don't really understand periodization or how to put a program together, I would actually really recommend Alex Bromley's Base Strength as a read. It just explains it and breaks it down in one of the best ways I've actually ever seen. And this again really kind of fueled my fire for the gym. I felt like everything had just been cleared and I actually understood how training worked and what I had to do to get better. In this time, I made some of the fastest progress I'd ever made, and that was until I lost my job. The gym I was working in shut down, and the gym ended up losing that momentum and having to take a back seat. I had to build my business, I had to get clients, I had to be making sure that money was coming in. And because of this, I started to kind of look into social media for terms of marketing. And eventually, kind of upon a whim and from being encouraged from my girlfriend, I made a YouTube. And that's when I truly found my second mountain, the second thing that I had to climb. Because if I was going to be here giving out advice to other people, I had to take what I do seriously. And in the beginning, that was becoming a better teacher. For 2024, I spent a lot of my time less focused on what I was doing in the gym and more focused on my clients, building that business and helping others. But as 2025 has rolled around, I've realised that talking the talk and being informed isn't enough. You have to actually have a bit of skin in the game. And if you're going to tell people not to skip their workouts, to track their calories, to make sure that they're getting enough protein, to be consistent, you yourself have to do all of those things that you stand for. So I find myself again at the bottom of that mountain, looking up with a long way to go. But having that journey to make has got me more motivated than ever. One of the biggest things that I can recommend to you is when you're at the top of that first mountain, when you find yourself as the after photo, when you're getting all of those compliments about how much you've changed, don't let yourself grow complacent. Don't just sit there and enjoy the praise, because you'll find if you stop climbing, you'll actually start to slide back down. So you've got to find that deeper reason, that second reason. When your vanity is satisfied and you're feeling fulfilled, you've got to ask yourself, what's next? Because that's the only way that you're going to stay at this for life. And your goal doesn't need to be like my goal or anyone else's goal. Maybe you want to enter a bodybuilding show. Maybe you want to compete in powerlifting. Maybe you just want to be healthier, fitter, and around longer for your kids. Because before and after isn't enough. So please let me know down below, are you still climbing that first mountain? Or are you looking for your second? Are you atop your second? And is there a secret third that I don't know about? And if you liked the video, please like the video and subscribe, hitting the bell notification so you can stay up to date on the latest ones.